Hi, I'm reading a little bit of Maxwell Maltz, the writer of Psycho-Cybernetics. This is called The Magic Power of Self-Image Psychology. I'm going to read a little bit of a section called Don't Work Yourself to Death, and another section called You Can Change Your Habits. Just really quick, food for thought, good things to remember. Again, the magic power of self-image psychology. I'm just trying to make sure it's in the frame. I got a whole lot of other stuff that I'm not trying to get. Whatever. Okay. Don't work yourself to death. A full person has good work habits. As a member of the community, one can often make his greatest contribution to others through his work. A person who doesn't work will usually feel like a parasite. He will probably think little of himself, and others will most likely confirm his opinion. But some people habitually overwork themselves. They work long hours in their offices, and when the working day is done, they carry home briefcases filled with papers so they can continue their work at home. Work is not part of their life. Their life is work. This is too great a burden for a mere human being. To live well, a person should work, relax, sleep. He should devote time and attention to each part of his threefold daily schedule. All work and no play does a man no good in the long run, and he may be heading for an early heart attack. Why do people overwork? First, because they are slaves to the idea of great material success. Second, because through continual work, they can escape the problem they have with themselves and other people. See if I want to read this quote. It's a quote by John Tabell in The Magic of Balanced Living. He writes, "Running like a strong current beneath all the discussions of work and health is the success fallacy that dominates American life. Most men have to contend with it, and they had better recognize the enemy as early as possible if they are not to be defeated by it. It is both a fallacy and an enemy. No one is a success who has made a great deal of money and hasn't the time or the good health to enjoy it. The record is full of successes who single-mindedly pursued the goal of success, achieved it in their late 40s or early 50s, and died of a heart attack or succumbed to another disease generated by worry, anxiety, and tension. Of course, it is quite possible to be both successful and healthy, but the percentage of American men who have achieved that goal is small. Remember this. If success to you means material success and vocational attainment, more power to you. See yourself as a success and go out and achieve your goals. But to overwork and overdrive yourself, to ruin your health and exceed your limitations, this is folly. Some people accept themselves only when they're working. Outside of work, they are at a loss. They do not know how to relate to the world of people except through work. In overworking themselves, they satisfy a need to prove that they are worthwhile human beings. In doing so, they can ruin their health. The tragedy is that they are worthwhile as people and don't even know it. If you overwork yourself, tell yourself that you live only once and that there is more to life than work. Live each day as if it were your last. Resolve to face the problems that drive you away from your true self and into work. Redefine your concepts of success, developing your full emotional qualities as well as your work abilities. So that's the end of that section. I just think that's pretty important right now with a lot of people that are actually out of work, who might be feeling a little bit distraught, a little bit unfocused or unworthy, or like they're not providing or being of value. I think that there's a lot of ways that you can actually add value by volunteering your services now if you want to get involved with different activities to still feel that sense of involvement and providing and belonging and stuff, because there's a lot of people that have found a lot of who they were in their work. So there's that. And then, excuse me, let me turn this sound off. And then just jump over to the other section really quickly. Just about changing your habits. You can change your habits. You can change your habits. Now I'm going to get down to the brass tacks and tell you how you can change your bad habits. But first, you must believe that it is possible. In an October 1957 article, Science Digest relates an experiment in which about one half of a group of 57 college students, nail biters, cured themselves of this habit or showed marked improvement in less than a year. The late Dr. Knight Dunlap devoted many years to studying habits and helped people stop nail biting and thumb sucking. Alcoholics Anonymous has helped great numbers of suffering souls break away from the habit that was ruining their lives. The U.S. Health Service at Lexington, Kentucky has even helped sufferers from the dread of drug addiction to regain their pride and self-control and lick the habit. Surely, each of you knows one person who has dragged himself out of a rut of negativism and developed new successful ways of thinking. You can change your habits. It's not as easy as rolling off a log, but you can do it if you really want to. Your negative habits stand between you and happiness. Why not write them off? Why go around in the same circle when it leads you nowhere? If you eat too much or drink too much, or if other bad habits plague you, and you want to change them, here's what to do. Number 1, believe that you can change your habit. Have faith in your ability to control yourself and to bring about positive changes in your basic makeup. It seems simple, but it's actually critical. If you have a fundamental belief that A, you can't change this, you're set, it's hereditary, whatever the dogma or the tradition or the thing that you've been told may be, then that's your block right there. You're setting up your own failure. How do we set up our own failure psychologically? How does society set up failure for us? I can only do X, Y, Z. Okay, these are the parameters, the glass ceiling that I'm set to max out at. You can change those habits, but first step is you have to simply believe that you can change that habit. If you can't even get yourself to do that, then going through the motions is not really going to break that barrier, because again, it's your own set limitation because of your subscription to that belief. Belief is very powerful. Second, understand the physical consequences of these habits so well that you're willing to undergo temporary deprivations, even suffering. So great is your desire to change. Face the reality that being overweight puts a strain on your vital organs, that alcohol undermines your tissues, that overwork might drive you into premature death, and so forth. 3, find something satisfying which will comfort you during the temporary period of pain that you will go through while you are depriving yourself of a prop that has sustained you for a long time. A hobby such as photography or gardening or piano playing might help you to wean yourself away from, say, smoking too much. Number 4, discover the basic problems that drove you to such excesses. What is your frustration? Do you undervalue yourself? Why are you such an enemy to yourself? Those are tough questions. 5th, come to grips with these problems. Realign your thinking, accept your failures, and rediscover your triumphs. 6, direct yourself toward positive habit patterns that will make your life rewarding. Set new goals for yourself. Get the feel of success in constructive activities that will bring out your ability and your enthusiasm. Like I said in another video about the apps that were really helpful for me, I completely fell off of that after like 2 weeks, and then, no, for 2 weeks. So I did it for about, like a week or two straight. Oh crap, it's getting real dark. Sorry. I'm going to cut this off here in a second. I did it strong for about like 2 weeks straight, and then I got called back to work limited hours, And I wasn't used to kind of just rejuggling all that. The time slots that I had set aside to do certain things got shifted. And then I just kind of was like, oh crap, and just kind of fell by the wayside. And then I recognized that, and then I said, okay, what can I do to start back again? How can I just start back again one day? Again, forgive yourself from where you are, and then just start again. Just continue. Keep going. 21 days to become a habit. If you will have faith in the potency of these concepts and dedicate yourself to applying them, you can change any type of negative habit pattern. You can thrust aside the bottle that brings more pain than satisfaction, or the extra helping of strawberry shortcake, which will never really console you for the past deprivations. Go over my suggestions once more, and when your will falters, read them again and again. They will work for you if you have faith and patience, and if you're willing to work to achieve the results you want. You can change your habits and lead a better life if you'll stop relying on miracles and get in the habit of realizing that you've got to work to get what you want. You've got to work to get what you want, and stop relying on miracles. Okay. I'll just jump over to the most important habit of all and close this out. Compassion, charity, self-respect. When you can reach these feelings, you will like yourself. The habit of profiting by mistakes, getting a sense of self-direction, you're on the right track here. Driving toward your goals, driving toward them in spite of obstacles is the beginning of habit, for habit is repetition. I'm going to go back. I think there was something here that I might have skipped that was pretty good. Yeah, that's good. One of the greatest habits to develop is that of accepting yourself for what you are instead of pushing yourself to be what you're not, which is one of the worst habits in the world today. Accepting yourself as you are gives you confidence, whereas scrambling to keep up with the neighbors produces a sense of continual tension. It is a terrible undermining habit, and it will inflict cracks in the core of your self-image. If you understood this, you realize that worry is a bad habit, just as happiness is a good quality. Happiness is the habitual glow of excitement you feel from your positive anticipations. Resentment is a vicious habit because it is repetitious. Anger breeds fear of retaliation, which brings on more anger and feelings of uncertainty. The vicious circle never ends. It does not pay. Resentment will hurt the person who is your victim, but it will inflict far greater harm on the person who hates. If you have developed negative habits such as worrying, resenting, fearing, and dreading the future, it is important that you see clearly how these habits corrode your self-image. When you can visualize yourself as you really are, then you can work on changing the habits that destroy the dignity of your self-image. What kind of person do you want to be? In the theater of your mind, project the witches of Macbeth crackling as they stir the cauldron on the flames. You're the audience, so you can visualize them clearly. Do you want to have their traits of maliciousness and sly cunning? Or would you rather have the nobility of a King Arthur of the Round Table? It's all up to you, the person you will be. You can be witch or knight in shining armor. You can be Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with good and bad coexisting. But you certainly would be more fortunate if you developed the kind of emotional habits that lead to happiness. In the final analysis, habit represents the use of imagination, positive or negative. If you use your imagination as an ally, you will ensure your well-being. It is your imagination, and if you feel that you have the rights of a valuable human being, you can use it to give you the emotional patterns that will make your life a joy. All right, I'm going to end it right there because it's becoming challenging to read, to see, but I hope that you like this section, and I hope that it's helpful in some way. I don't know that I've read Maxwell Maltz in full, but a lot of these concepts, like they always are, they overlap. They, but they're right. They work. So Maxwell Maltz, author of Psycho-Cybernetics, I definitely intend to check that out, but I went to a bookstore and they had this one, so I was like, heck yeah, sounds good. He's dope. Heard of him. Highly recommended. So there's a little bit, again, of this book. So cheers. Take care.